Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Kude lesinye isikhathi ngaphandle kwalesi.
Aba research bafunze.
Being risky means ukuthi nalokuwa kwayo kulula.
Nathi kufuna sende ukukhicita lokusembili.
It's 2 p.m. Central African time. A very good morning, and what a delight to have you join us on Market View with me, Sifiso Nxumalo. As always, I will ask that you stay with me over the next half an hour as we look at the developments around the nation's economy and how it fits into the overall sustainable economic growth of the country. Today, our business journalist, Nelsiwe Ndlangamandla, deployed to the ground just to look at some of the work that is done by the Small Enterprises Development Company. It is popularly known as SEDCO. It is looking to strengthen support for local businesses, especially small and medium enterprises. Nelisi Sibanze is a business development officer at SEDCO. He's going to highlight some of the measures that they want to put in place. We will then develop that conversation with Nelsi. We will then wrap things up with an analysis of today's financial markets with Sanele Sibiya. He's our economist. For now, let's look at the business news of the day. And for our first story, there is a serious need for government to reserve certain sectors for the empowerment of local small and medium enterprises for Eswatini's economy to perform well. Now, this was said by Zizwe Vilane, who is the short-term expert in the Southern African Development Community, as well as European Union, to support improving the business environment project.
Where an SMME is trying to find economic opportunities in an environment where they're not available, because we have allowed investors coming outside of the country, where one assumes they come with better resources, to go into micro industries, groceries, pharmacies. What should be done by Eswatini has been given to foreigners. And whereas you find the same business activity happening on Swazi nation land, whilst we have laws in this country that says no foreigner shall conduct business on Eswatini nation land. So I think there's a lot we need to do as a country in creating space for SMMEs. I'll give a simple example. Botswana, Zimbabwe have closed about 35 economic sectors that are reserved for locals. Those include your butcheries, your pharmacies, your grocery shops, where somebody takes a finished product from a shelf in South Africa to put it in a shelf here and just sit behind it. It's for your people, not for a foreign investor. He must invest in value addition, which speaks to the Citizen Economic Empowerment Act in saying how far will it go in ensuring that Eswatini, not just anybody, but indigenous Eswatini, are the ultimate beneficiaries.
And the International Trade Center, in collaboration with different stakeholders, is training women on agri-business value chain under the program She Trades. Now, the institutional sustainable expert Bongani Simelana says they have ascertained that women lack support in different areas. Hence, there is a need to sensitize them on the available opportunities on agribusiness.
Basically, we are training our business support institutions as they play a vital role in delivering the business support institutions overall to everyone in the agribusiness space. Part of what we are training them on is how best they can provide, I think, gender-sensitive services to specific women, where we are trying to address issues around access to resources, where we are seeing some of it being a barrier. So we want to ensure that there is equal participation for women in the agricultural space.
Participants in the training say the knowledge they have acquired will help them empower women in agriculture.
Now we'll be able to incorporate gender-responsive agriculture into our trainings and to better empower women. As Njega Women Farmer Foundation, we generally work with women and youth. And in the spaces that we're in, it is very important that the tools that we have received and we have learned of Laga ITC, we incorporate them, especially starting from the household level, you know, before we get to the community.
My highlight was the agricultural value chains, where I saw a need to share that information with the youth, especially when they are writing business plans and creating business plans from scratch. I think it can help them a lot because I know from my observation that a lot of them are struggling with business plans in order to get financial assistance from the organizations that are available to help them financially in businesses and projects.
Government has made a policy to assist farmers, including women, to achieve higher productivity and become market-oriented. For Market View, Nelson Langamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
What is SEDCO doing to support small and medium enterprises in Eswatini? Let's talk about that with Nelson Langamandla after the break.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu sivile sive sikhulume.
Welcome back to the program. The Small Enterprises Development Company says it looks to put more measures in place to support local businesses, especially small and medium enterprises. Now, the Business Development Officer, who is Mnelisi Sibanze, said this in response to what the company is doing to help small and medium enterprises contribute meaningfully to their economy, especially reducing the charges for writing business plans for aspiring entrepreneurs.
Previously, we were charging a certain fee, but right now, after consulting with higher institutions, we have also noted that we need also to curve a bit on the prices so that they can be accommodative and also be let me say, available for each and everyone, understanding the economic crisis that is available in the country, especially under the income part. So there are alterations that are being made. Recently, there's been a strategy that has been made by SEDCO, but it's still not effective. But hopefully, before the end of this year, there are alterations that's going to be made under the possible services that SEDCO does offer that are made available in the country for each and everyone, especially Maswati and women. We do understand that these new interventions, most people who are affected are those who are starting or startups. And those startups, you find that one of the major constraints is financial. It's financial. So with this initiative, with this new strategy, I'm sure it's going to be flexible for everyone and very much accommodative.
That's Nelisi Sibanze from SEDCO. Nelsiwe, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for, going to the ground and really being curious for the youth.
Yeah.
I'm young myself. I'm looking into getting into business. So, every time we have these conversations, at least kukhanya something la ngqondweni yami ekuthini angihambe so ngijabulisa kakhulu kenyalo kuva ukuthi ama-charges atawukwehla nasi register ama-business plan to sibantfula basha. How urgent, was that development really ekutheni salula ama-charges ehla?
Imqoka kakhulu Sifiso sibonile nembukele ekhaya kwekuthi i-Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund nje ngitawubekisa ngayo emabhizinisi lamaningi ebantu labasha bewangaphumeleli ngenza baye ukuthi vele bebangakhoni kwenda lama business plans. That is why bebakhanza ukuthi bayaphuma bayale emakhaya bayofundzisa bamfu labasha baphinze nalama business plans langaphumeleli kahle bakhone ukuthi baqalele phasi babasite labantu labasha. Uthi Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund lokukhulu kakhulu simbonile na Fincorp ayichaza indzaba bamfu labasha laveni vele basengakhoni kahle lokufaka la ngqondweni ukuthi kumele bende ibhizinisi. Setho ke uthi kwenda ibusiness plan le suka ku1 lilangeni to 100,000 bekubita 938 emalangeni. Ungathi ke mhlawumbe imali lencane ukuthi bekangabendela ibusiness plan, but now umuntu lomusha udele mali wetama ukuthi vele uthole le financing yale business utawukhanza ukuthi vele ubabete lo muntu lomusha loyo 938 emalangeni. So kumcoka kakhulu lokuthi bakubukete lokuthi lama business plans babasita kanjani labo labasafisa kungena ebusinessini ukuthi babakhele kuze bathole ifinancing.
Yeah, the reservation of certain sectors for local entrepreneurs to perform well, particularly labo labancane. You spoke to consultant Zizovilan and he speaks on that is something that government should look
Very
into.
Important subject.
I see how it can hinge into this particular development that SEDCO is doing, since Banvu Labasha Vela looking for those opportunities that our Kanva would see are reserved. How urgent is that particular development?
Ngithanda ngikhulumisana naye ezizwe Vilani ngakhanza kumcoka kakhulu vele ukuthi uhulumende kube khona lawo ma sectors la reserved for SMEs osoma business labancane. Ukhuluma ngekuthi uyukhanze ukuthi kulesinye isikhathi uya sekunemuntu loqhamuka ngaphandle losahleti ebhizinisini le emakhaya kude lokunganani lokumeaningful la kulethile uhambe nje naye wathenga singwa wabuye wasibeka la uthi ke yena uma ngabe uhulumende angathi emabutchery titolo leti semakhaya athathe nje lokunye athi no loku kwemaswati na utala eveni wena sicela ukuthi ute utofaka ibhizinisi letawu contributor kakhulu kubonakale kule GDP yelive leSwatini ungabe senawe wenda nakulokuncane lengabe sikubekela sive semaswati uthi government should be stern in making laws latawuvala vele kuthi la no ngene emaswati kuphela.
Yeah, you also spoke to Mnelisi, who is the business development officer ka SEDCO ngeluhlangothi lelibukeka kakhulu tindzaba agenda kuthenini boma ke bona. What are some of the incentives that are there particularly for women? And I see how, you know, that also hinges to the Citizens Economic Empowerment Bill. What are some of the suite of incentives that we have? And I like that recommendation that you have just proposed. So let's listen to Mnelisi. He's the Business Development Officer at SEDCO. He's speaking on the incentives now for women within the space.
Part and parcel of it is getting engaged with BSOs or organizations that are really they're empowering women. We've noticed that the past decades it has been male-dominated sector, especially under the agricultural value chain. And right now, as more interventions are being done, working with many constitutions and constituencies, we noticed that there was a gap whereby women need to be much more involved. And we've noticed that also the most productive part in business, women are productive. That they do engage themselves in the trainings, they are available, and they do adopt even the trainings. So working with other institutions like ITC, we have been able to also modify our training materials that could be accommodative even for also women. We are still in the early stages and inception stages of it all, but we are sure that as time goes by, there'll be more women who are recognized now, who are recognized under this value chain. And they're going to be key players. And also we are trying to advocate also in the policies that are being there so that they can be flexible for women. We can't lie, as a country, we've come too far, and we have seen that the policies that have been made have been trying to infuse women a lot, and SEDCO has been playing a part under the business capacity side. So we do believe part and parcel of trainings whereby there's women empowerment. SETCO can play a role in also applying it in the outskirts of our country.
Very interesting. Bo mage nelsiwe kuyevakala ukuthi they have now uptake yabo mage particularly kutekulima ku business kungathi isetulu kakhulu. Is that the only sector lengathi nanatelwa kakhulu lapho khona kuthiwa abo mage are leveraging that space, and if so, what is it looking like really, and if akusiyo yodwa ngimaphi lamanye ama spaces lengathi bo mage they are leveraging those kind of spaces?
Bomake bayalima sifiso kakhulu kepha ke lokutholakala ngekusho kwabo ITC ukuthi bomake abasibo labalimela kuthengisa, hence the initiative by ITC to say sibafake bomake ukuthi bangene kute business. Sike sabona lapha kubo kwakhati impahla, sike sakhulumisana naye Talkie How lokuchazile ukuthi nalapho bomake abasibo labakhona kakhulu, kepha ke uyabona ukuthi all sectors now are trying to ensure ukuthi nabo bayangena kuleti te business, whether it's apparel noma ke setinza abatako kulima. So bayetama lokuthi abangene nabo balimele kuthengisa, kungabi nje ngilokulima kwekuthi utawuthengisa lemakhaya ungimake, but ngena ulime wakhe ibusiness ucontribute emnothweni welive leSwatini ukuthi uthuthuke.
Nelly, as you speak, I'm just, studying langqondweni yami ngiyababona bomake lapha etimakethe letinye etimakethe tato ngilokukhanza ti-based kubosethu ukhanze bathengisa khona spinach, amaklabishi, labanye ababona la renkini embabane. Similarly eshiselweni nakhona enhlangana particular nje ama-bus rank lamaningi emadolobheni uyabakhanza lami inceleni yalama bus rank bathengisa tilimo kakhulu. But what we are understanding from this development ukuthi kule value chain isa developer abangabi lana kuna level la khona bayacupha encenye bayathengisa. Yes, sibabona nyalo sebangenela kulima, and indeed nawendlula lapha kubongwene mina ngibile nayo inhlanhla ngabaseshiseleni bengibabona bomake cishe ngathi ngibo labalima kakhulu. Nawubona leti limo leti lapha leti lihlada imisebenzi yabo make labaningi leyo. But then the question is, sebayingenele nyalo le business ukuthi salokulima bona at a high scale. Yes, there are SMEs, but it's at a bigger scale than a backyard garden, I'm sure. Basangena kulolo hlangothi lolo nyalo nithi asalo ba professionalize kakhulu lama business abo ekuthenini we are looking at an SME that could potentially graduate tomorrow and become a household company that could even supply the whole of Eswatini, probably outside of Eswatini.
That is what tinkapanele tifana nabo ITC tisho kanjalo sifiso kwekuthi saleslima ungabuka lapha engweni ubuke ngazuthi it's big, but kunenzaba yekuthi kufanele ukuthi kuqinisekiswe ukuthi leto tilimo leto sesingakhona yini ukuthi exporter kahle kahle. That's what we are talking about. Nasithi kufanele ukuthi akhule lama business abo agcine sekamakhulu akhone ku contributor emnothweni. ITC ke uthi labo make abangene bende emabhizinisi. The expert Zizwe Vilane said 1% of emabhizinisi nje la eveni mancane kakhulu lala medium, lala maningi ukhanza ukuthi nginawa lala phaphasi langasiko lakhule kahle. So what International Trade Center is saying and different organizations like SETCO is, let's take these small businesses, whether it's agriculture, whether it's fashion and apparel, let's take those businesses siwakhulise kude kuthi phela angagcini nje amancane, ngoba nawa amancane awakhona lokubhadala kahle lomthelo, kanti nasakhulile alapha kubo medium ayakhona ukuthi umthelo welive umthelo ungene ka ERS.
Nangabambala bongosi kuliqiniso la kusho Nelson. Indeed, we do have testimonies. We do see what other cooperatives and organizations are doing with bomake. Inzaba lethinza konje yako ukuthi lokulapha kulima komake engwene engabe vele bangakufuna in South Africa nasebaku evaluate noma eLesotho or wherever really tinzaba temazinga. Nokuhleke ukuthi uhulumende simbonile eminyakeni uyaqhubeka futhi uyababambisa lawo maforum lapho khona kuthiwa ake sikhulumise ama standards. Phunywe kuma standards ekuthiwa let's talk about packaging now. Sesithambisa le tinto. Let all those things meet all those standards, and indeed we are happy kubona these kinds of development really happening. Engabe Nelly kuse ndeka loku, obviously we've spoken about the agricultural sector, but the umbrella here is just a business really. And ngenye sisaphuma kubomake bakasetco bathini vele ngekudevelopa just the business environment ngiliphi lunyawo lesesiluthatha nyalo ngoba phela sibabonile na last year bebasebenza, but obviously sekuthiwe ngwenyalo kunetinto lokufuna ti review noma tingedwe.
Setco uthi they are going to be more vigorous. I think the most basic thing that should be done is the mindset change program, because nendvuna yetemfundo ichazile ukuthi le ku curriculum sekufanele vele siyifake lendzaba ye entrepreneurship, because youth enterprise revolving fund kanye nabo nenhlangano yebantfu labasha iyachaza ukuthi vele sinato letikhwama la eveni tiningi. Sinayo youth enterprise revolving fund, sinayo sikhwama ka agriculture development fund, tikhona tikhwama timbili ka namport abo horticulture, but kude labantfu labasha labangenako ukuthi bete phela kutothatha kuleti khwama. Sinawe ma loan guarantee schemes lase Central Bank nawo lasukunyiswe nguhulumende, kepha abantfu labasha abaveli. So there's a lot that still needs to be done kwekuthi sishintshe lengcondvo yemuntfu lomusha. Ushido MD waka FinCorp ukuthi vele asilo live leli investe kakhulu la kutheni akucalwe lama business. So all support should go to tindzaba tabo mindset change, kuyiwe lemakhaya bafundziswe labantfu labasha nesive sonke ngaleti khwama tahulumende letikhona nange business.
And I like the fact that you are circling back to, you know, some of the recommendations made by FinCorp MD Dumsane Msive Ekuthenini. Yes, the mindset change shouldn't just be on Ekuthenini. Yes, let's capacitate bantfu labasha Ekuthenini, they should take up this money and mase dispersiwe bahlale basho, but lokunye lokutaba mcwa ukuthi senitfolile le mali le business ayingabese seyiyafa abafundziswe vele ngalokho. He did say, let's be honest, and I really liked lo ukuthi waba candid lapho asitawufuna kubahlola imarket ngabe timarket letinye nje temhlaba nasibuka timali temhlaba time kanjani langeni lethu na ucomparisha na US dollar na ucomparisha na pound na Japanese yen namuhla liyavuma ukuthi engcenye ungathenga kulamanye emave. Sakhulumisa tona tindzaba tabo trade, it's market view. Let's get into those markets with Sanele Spear after the break.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007 *3 *7#, or you can use Eswatini Imali. You can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any NetBank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
It's 24 minutes after 2. Welcome back to the program. We connect now with our economist, Sanele Lomuhla. We do want to extend profound apologies in that regard. We know we are used to seeing his face on screen, but today we are not so lucky trying to connect to him. Nonetheless, we do have other means of communications as well as Mr. Sbia, welcome to the program. Just, in South Africa, they're discussing some of the developments happening around personal finance planners. We expect that the SA Reserve Bank is going to consider interest rate cuts closer to the end of the year. What is really impacting this? Because it will be in contrast to the usual mid-year cuts that come around in July that they have.
Yes, Mr. Nqumalo. What we are seeing on that front, from January to February in South Africa, sibonile letinombolo takhona tikhomba ukuthi wenyukile lo inflation inyukile from 5.3 to 5.6%. So loko sekuyisondeta lana kudane nale upper end of the band lekuya kube 6%. So loko ke ngole kwenta ngazuthi ema-economists incumbi nama-financial analysts incumbiseka i-projecta kokuthi ngathi itawuphutha lokuqala kwehla le-interest rate itawukwehla lena ekugcinile towards the tail end yale kota yesibili not lapha ekuqaleni lapho lebese igade khona cishe umhlaba wonke sewugade sitawuvela ngala kuqaleni. So the issue nje lekhona ekakhulu lapho Nqumalo is the inflation going up a bit. So it's most likely to stay at 8.25 ngale South Africa, which means it's going to stay at 0.725, just a percentage below the inflation in South Africa, which is our anchor currency. So is a tool.
We do hear, Gutsi, in America, Donald Trump's media company's shares, they have jumped ahead of the backdoor NASDAQ debut. And that is also, in the light of seeing that NASDAQ today is trading higher, the composite index is trading higher. We're also seeing the Dow Jones trading lower today, just like the S&P 500, which is also trading lower. But really interested in the developments happening around Lenkapani Donald Trump and perhaps other companies in the Silicon Valley and how they are affecting these numbers today.
Yes. Thank you, Nqumalo. So if we continuously look in the US, you will see that actually it's the US, the EU, Europe, and then Asia. Most of the growth has been pushed by the tech sector in the previous quarters and the previous trading days. So the markets were doing fairly well because certain competitors or certain companies in the market were really doing well. We have seen NVIDIA doing pretty well. We have seen Meta coming on pretty well. We have seen Amazon coming on pretty well. So it is those issues that have been pulling up the market. So when it comes to the issue of Trump media, it's purely because there are issues and talks around Truth Social, which is social media company at Trump, which is set to merge with 4 other companies. So they're bringing in a fresher perspective into that. So in terms of Trump media itself, we did expect it to go down in anticipation for the new merger and trying to get in early on the bandwagon when it is actually a bit fresher on the other end. So those are the things that we are looking at, and also the issues surrounding Donald Trump himself. Just yesterday, he was going into yet another court case, and we know we're unale court case, close to $500 million on it, and he has failed to make up that money. So when you're looking at all of those things and that failure to make up that money, when the head of the company is not doing so well himself, can I put my shares against this $9.5 billion? So if he is failing to come up with that collateral, so it also means that the share value, the company is going to price that in going forward. Are we really investing in a company that is really worth the amount of shares that we are seeing?
Okay, just a quick summary of our currencies and commodities today. We do see that copper today is trading at $4 per troy ounce, but still, in terms of energy commodities, Brent crude oil is still ranked at number 1, and gold is down there at number 6, but it's been doing fairly well over the past few days. Just a quick summary on our commodities today, and perhaps without going on forex, Mr. Spear.
All right, thank you, Mr. Nomado. So when you look into our commodities, we are seeing Brent crude number is trading at 86.11, which is quite the contrast because we did expect it to somehow teeter down, considering the UN Security Council actually did pass a vote that is going to cause Gaza and Israel to influence this fire to push them into that. But the market has not yet priced that in purely because it's an issue at UN, which has a problem of enforceability. You know how international law has a problem of being enforced. So that's why we are still seeing Brent crude rallying up. But then that's also against the backdrop of good news in the market when you are seeing the economy is going to grow. So it is also against those fears that the Brent crude will not be increasing at the rate at which it's going to have to catch up with the mainstream or the real economy. So those are the things that the market is pricing in at present. But then also with issues around Boeing, the new CEO slated to come in, all of those things are factored in to the issue of Lama increases in terms of the fuel demand. If Boeing is able to get their house in order, that means they should be able to support an increase in demand for fuel into the airline industry. And then gold, we keep seeing gold being as they go to commodity currently. They considering the market has to push back my expectations of the interest rate.
Mr. Spear, thank you so much for providing your insight yet again today. We should connect with you again on Thursday. We have Business Watch tomorrow. Sibonga kakhulu Mr. Spear, and sibonga nababukeli emakhaya kuba nathi ehlelweni Market View na lo muhla sase sinibona ngalesine bonkhosi nibe nosuku loluhle. Sihlangisemnikade asente njalo kuSomalia eMbombela. Sole kahle.